If you look out across a river in the tropics, you might see what the locals call the Jesus bird. It's a bird that appears to be miraculously walking in water. From a distance, it looks peaceful. It looks like a glitch in the physics engine of real life, gracefully gliding across the surface of the pond while the rest of the animal kingdom is fighting for its life in the mud. But then you zoom in and you realize this bird isn't performing a miracle. It is a fat fraud. It's just wearing an evolutionary equivalent of clown shoes. Meet the jacana, a bird that Mother Nature looked at and said, you know what, forget aerodynamics, give this thing toes the size of its entire body. Look at these things. They look like unspooled wire hangers. They look like someone tried to draw a chicken from memory but only had a ruler. The jacana doesn't actually walk on water. It walks on lily pads and floating vegetation. Because its toes are so obnoxiously long, its weight is distributed across the fragile plants, keeping it from sinking into the swamp. So yes, technically the clown shoes serve a purpose, but that doesn't mean we have to respect, because it makes the bird look absolutely ridiculous every time it takes a step. Imagine having to live your entire life walking on a salad that is floating over a death pit. That is the jacana's daily existence. The tropical swamp is not a Disney movie, it's a war zone. One wrong step, one flimsy lily pad that can't hold your weight, and you are immediately getting snatched by a snapping turtle, a monitor lizard, or a massive saltwater crocodile who is just sitting at the bottom of the lake waiting for the salad bar to drop like a chicken nugget. Because of this constant looming threat of death by swamp monsters, the jacana is perpetually stressed. They don't just walk normally, they trot. They have this jerky, paranoid, high-stepping strut like someone just realized they left the stove on at home, but they're currently walking across a minefield in oversized flippers. Every step is calculated panic, but as bizarre as their anatomy is and as stressful as their environment is, it is absolutely nothing compared to their dating life. If you thought human dating apps were a toxic wasteland, the jacana is about to make you feel completely normal. Most birds have a pretty standard, respectable setup. The male sings a little song, does a little dance, they build a nest together, they take turns sitting on the eggs, and they split the child support. It's a partnership, not the jacana. The jacana operates on a system of extreme polyandry, and the female jacana is an absolute unhinged warlord. In these species, the female is up to 70% larger than the male. She is the muscle, and she does absolutely zero domestic labor. She does not build nests, she does not incubate eggs, she does not raise the kids, she doesn't even look at the kids. Her entire life goal, her sole purpose on this earth, is to claim a piece of the swamp, aggressively beat up any other females who dare to look at our water lilies, and build a massive harem of tiny submissive boyfriends. Here's exactly how her day goes. She patrols her territory. She finds a male who has spent all week frantically gathering wet leaves and twigs to build a pathetic floating raft that he calls a nest. She steps onto his property, mates with him, drops 4 eggs into this pile of wet garbage, says good luck bro, and literally walks away to go find another guy. She will do this with up to 4 or 5 different males in the exact same swamp. She is the ultimate deadbeat mom. She treats maternity like an Amazon package delivery. She just drops it on the porch, takes a mental photo, and just leaves the premises. She's out in the streets living her best life while her 5 different baby daddies are stuck at home having panic attacks. But wait, because it gets so much worse. The toxicity reaches levels that belong on a premium cable drama. What happens if a female jacana wanders into another female's territory? Say she wins a fight and takes over a new patch of the swamp. She looks around and finds a male incubating eggs that belongs to the previous female. A normal animal would just chase him off or ignore him, not the jacana. The invading female will walk right up to the nest and aggressively shatter every single one of the other female's eggs. She will commit a hostile takeover, destroy the man's entire family, and then force that traumatized male to mate with her, so he can sit there and raise her kids instead. It is pure, unadulterated mafia behavior. It is a hostile corporate buyout, but with swamp chickens. So we're left with the male jacana, the ultimate stressed out single father. He's out here doing 100% of the work. He incubates the eggs for nearly a month. He doesn't get a nice warm tree hollow. He's sitting in a soggy raft of decomposing plants in the pouring rain, constantly looking over his shoulder for anacondas, eagles, and his own baby mama coming back to start another turf war. And when the chicks finally hatch, they are immediately just as ridiculous as their parents. They look like fuzzy little tennis balls that have been glued to 2 sets of oversized chopsticks. They are all legs and no brain, but the swamp is incredibly dangerous for a baby bird. And when a danger approaches, when a hawk circles overhead, or when an alligator breaks the surface of the water, the male jacana doesn't try to fight. He knows he can't fight. Instead, he does a magic trick, but it's not a fun, entertaining magic trick. He will squat down, call his fuzzy little chopstick children over, and tell them to get underneath him. He will literally scoop the chicks picks up under his wings and walk away. But here's the problem. The kid's legs are way too long to actually fit inside its feathers. So what you get to see is this absolute mutant monstrosity walking across lily pads with 10 extra spindly legs dangling out from under its armpits. It is deeply unsettling to look at. It looks like a failed genetic experiment from a sci-fi horror movie. It looks like a massive spider that got halfway through mutating into a bird that just gave up. If you are a predator and you are stalking a small bird and that bird suddenly sprouts 10 extra legs and starts speed walking away across the water like a sleep paralysis demon, you don't eat it. You walk away. You rethink your life choices. You call an exorcist. So let's quickly recap this absolute madness of a jacana. It has the biomechanics of a circus clown. The females are toxic, home-wrecking mob bosses who commit war crimes against rival nests, and the males are anxious, overworked single dads that have to transform into multi-legged swamp mutants just to keep their kids from being eaten by dinosaurs. Next time someone tells you that nature is beautiful, pure, and majestic, show them the bird wearing clown shoes and running a toxic matriarchy in a muddy puddle. Subscribe for more rants.